Where the hell is SAGAT? You know, we called him SAGAT back in my day. When Street Fighter 2 first came out. You know, I was so irritated by how goofy, campy, silly, and stupid that teaser looked. How the teaser made the characters look, at least. Some people think that, well, maybe they just look stupid, but it'll still be a serious storyline. We'll see. So, I was so irritated by how they look that I didn't even think about this. And I started to see it in the comments. And then I did the video about the John Cena in Bison. Now he looked perfect as M. Bison. Also, Henry Cavill looked perfect as M. Bison too. But I saw it in those comments too. And people are saying, where the hell is SAGAT? Where's he at? How can you leave out such an integral character? He was the boss of the first Street Fighter game. And he was still one of the bosses in the second Street Fighter game. He's only second to M. Bison. Y'all remember him, right? Tiger, 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 uppercut. Remember him? Yeah. They truly turned him into a massive beast in all games after that. All games after Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. He is the man that was given not just a chest scar, as they call it, an abdominal, a torso scar from the Shoryuken. He's the man that got a chest scar from the Shoryuken. Now, the way they told the story originally was basically the Dragon Punch was so powerful that it broke his skin when Ryu defeated him with it. Later, they modified the story to say, well, Ryu was actually losing and he got desperate and he tapped into the, what do they call it? Basically the Dark Hado. Satsui no Hado. And that is what made his Dragon Punch so powerful that it tore through his skin like that. And ever since then, SAGAT has had to live with the shame of losing to Ryu, but being humiliated with that scar, you know? It was a living reminder of his loss to that little Japanese man that disappeared after he won. So, SAGAT has been on his trek, on his way back to defeat Ryu. See, in the first game, he didn't have Tiger Uppercut. He didn't have that. Okay? He just had the Tiger, 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 Tiger. As a matter of fact, I don't know if he had a low Tiger shot then. I don't know. I've only played the game a couple of times. It doesn't work for me. He developed his own Tiger Uppercut because the Dragon Punch devastated him so much. That's the story, okay? He also killed someone's father, okay, in a fight. He's a character that's in this new movie and is totally miscast. Absolutely totally miscast. who they cast as looks nothing like him. Now, maybe if they cut his facial hair, put his hair in a ponytail, if he knows martial arts already, maybe it could work out. But he looks nothing like him. He looks nothing like him. I believe that Dan is Asian in the first place, so it doesn't work out. By the way, I know a lot of you, when we were talking about the whole M. Bison thing, see, if you notice that M. Bison, his original name was Vega in the Japanese version, okay? And Balrog was actually Vega. And M. Bison, Mike Bison, was actually Balrog, that we're used to, the boxer. And Sagat was Sagat. But they had to change things around when they brought it to the States because they were afraid of getting a lawsuit from Mike Tyson. Because when they, his profile picture looked exactly like Mike Tyson. And then for you to call him M. Bison and you didn't pay him nothing, makes me wonder if the same thing happened with M. Bison over in Japan. See, the picture that they used for M. Bison's profile, because I was like, well, M. Bison, he's from Thailand and he's Asian anyway, and I don't know about that. And the reason why is because in the anime version, they drew him as a European man. His profile in the game, though, his profile picture comes specifically from a particular manga. I forgot what it's called. But I think they called him the Dictator in that or something like that. And I think he was a Chinese man. He may have been Thai, but I think he was a Chinese man. But he's an Asian dictator. They carbon copied that picture from that manga. I wonder if they had the rights. You see where I'm going here? Maybe that's the reason why Bison never really looked Asian from there on. Although there is one where he I think in 4 he may have kind of looked Asian. But I think they deviated from that because of maybe that particular issue. Because after that, I don't think he looks like that in any other iteration of the game, other than Street Fighter 2. I could be wrong about that, but I'm just trying to think about it as I'm going. So, I had a whole point for all of that. Maybe I proved my point or said my point with that. But, yeah. So anyway, where the hell is Sagat? Okay, where is he? This doesn't make any sense to me. He's integral. How do you remove such an integral character? If you look at the anime movie, he's having a fight with Ryu in the beginning. He wants his revenge on him at the end. But Bison will not allow him to get that. He is iconic. They turned him into that massive monster the way he should have been. Gave him a deeper voice instead of that stupid, tiger, 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 oh, tiger, oh, tiger uppercut. That is a badass version in the alpha versions and everything else. They kind of make him a combination of them in later games, though, like in 6 and 5 or something like that, I think. Especially 6. 6, they bring him back to being the more lanky, I think. That is, it's weird that you would remove such an integral character. Okay, he's Ryu's rival. He wants revenge. There's the scar. Everyone knows. The guy with the patch, with the scar, was devastated by losing Ryu. Like, it's integral part of the story. Why is he not in there? It doesn't make any sense. You got Ken in there. He's integral. You have Akuma in there. He's integral. But Akuma came way after Sagat did. Akuma came after M. Bison. You include Akuma, but no Sagat. It doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't know why you would do that. And I'm sure they're still hearing from the fans about it. They put in other characters that came later, I think. And I'm just like, it can't be based off of the first game because Sagat's not in it. You know? And Mike's not in it. And Eagle isn't in it. and Adon's not in it. I think Adon is in the first one. So it's got to be some iteration of 2 and on. Some amalgamation of 2 and on. So, I don't know. I'm thinking on the fly here, but I'm just like, I'm trying to think of somebody that he kind of, parallels in another story. But it just doesn't make any sense not to have him, you know? Post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. As a Street Fighter fan, I am very, very, very unhappy with that sneak peek trailer. And I am very, very, very unhappy with the castings. And several of the castings, not all of them. Oh, you know what I wanted to say? Some of y'all were like, oh, well, they didn't get John Cena because he costs too much. He costs too much, but they can't afford 50 Cent. 50 Cent is worldwide more popular than John Cena. But they could afford 50 Cent, but they couldn't afford John Cena. I don't think that's it. They may not have asked him. They may not have thought of him. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes in this casting process, these producers and casting directors and everything, they don't have the people in mind to play these characters that we think they should have in mind as the fans. They don't do it. Now, a lot of times we're loud enough online beforehand so they get an idea and they cast these people. But yeah, this guy the guy they picked looks nothing like him. Nothing like him. Any version of him that I've ever seen. The closest he looks like is this particular hokey version in a commercial that I saw years ago that wasn't meant to be taken serious. That's what he looks like, close to that. I believe that this is going to be parody-ish. It's going to be way too far more comedic than Street Fighter was ever meant to be. I think that this is a bomb incoming. The one with Raul Julia was an absolutely horrible casting for M. Bison. He was terrible. Terrible. And they only picked him because of his big eyes. I saw someone say, no, his children said that he should take it because they were fans. No, they had to offer him that. You understand? His kids didn't say, hey, go out for M. Bison. And then he contacted them and they made him M. Bison. That's not how it worked. Okay, they have to reach out to you. Okay? Now, there are some actors that actually put it out there, in the ether that they want to be a particular character. But no, his kids told him to take that role because they're like, yo, this is Street Fighter. You got to. He should have never taken him. I'm sorry. He was just terrible. Van Damme was not a good Guile. Guile is not from Brussels. That Ryu's closer, I think, that they had in that than this one is to how Ryu looks. That Ken was terrible. That Sagat was pretty damn close if he had worked out. He had a very close look to Sagat. Similar. If that dude was younger and had worked out and bulked up big time, oh yeah, that Balrog was terrible. Blanca was terrible. Dao Sim was terrible. Chun-Li was just okay. Cammy was, she was alright. Similar look to Cammy. E Honda was not E Honda. This E Honda ain't the E Honda I had in mind either. Zangief, that was Zangief right there. He might have been the best casting. This one might even be a better casting as big as this dude is. But man, I don't understand why they do this stuff. But I'm done ranting. Hashtag, where is Sagat? I want an answer. 10 million subscribers. Woo!